Hola, I'm Dr. Sandra Rodríguez-Arroyo, and I'm a faculty member with the Teacher Education Department, but I'm also with OLLAS. And they invited me to become part of this quarantining with OLLAS series, and I hope that you're all learning and will continue learning from different things that we as faculty members do. We come from different departments and we do different things, but at the same time, with the purpose of making sure that we keep serving the community for the purpose, especially our Latinx community here in Omaha and beyond. So I want to give an acknowledgement for this presentation to Ann O'Hara because this presentation has been done in parts with her in other in conferences, in Service Learning Showcase, and to other groups that have been interested in learning about this particular project. So the college prep family learning experience is a partnership that has been happening since 2014 with the Learning Community Center of South Omaha. For those of you that are not familiar with this organization, you should probably be, because many people know the learning community as a tax levy, but it's more than that. It's a lot more than that. It's people, it's families learning, it's making sure that we're overcoming barriers to to cut that achievement gap and through education, through a whole family experience, through learning together. And because of this model, that's how this was created. It's not just a service learning experience that includes kids or adults. It's a service learning experience that includes the whole family. So it's a college preparation for Latino immigrant families with young children and teenagers. And it's really great that we're able to include the whole family in this particular program. How this started was a conversation with Anne and trying to identify what needs. We really wanted to work together, but we wanted to make sure with service learning, it's really important that the learning is there, that it's not just service, that we're not just painting the center or providing a particular service that is just a one-time chat, but no, it's a learning experience for both groups that are participating in the project. In the case of my students need to develop interactive activities for the families to ensure that they are applying the knowledge that they're learning in class about language proficiency levels, ESL scaffolding strategies, and but more than everything, developing that relationship with the families and communicating content that is similar to what they may encounter in parent teacher conference and hopefully beyond the parent teacher conference, but also developing a relationship with kids and families. And I appreciate that knowledge, that funds of knowledge that the literature talks to us about that comes with them and coming from an asset based perspective of teaching diverse learners. For the families, is they participate in these interactive activities to gather that information so they feel that they have the knowledge to guide their own kids in the process. So learn that academic knowledge of what a college is, which many times it may feel like a completely different language, especially for parents. I know my parents didn't know much about college. I'm a first generation. So for all of us that are first generation, we know that many times we couldn't count with our parents for to let us know what was this college about. So we had to learn on our own. So this program seeks to take away some of that process of what college prep that could be really scary for parents too, not just for the kids. And they get to practice their English in many ways through learning about college, and also the social part with my students too, because they also socialize. So this was our plan to do for the semester. We were planning to have we did part of this before everything happens. We did the orientation. I assigned my students partners, And the same with the other section, Mariana Cruz. Thank you so much because you did so much work with this too. So the icebreakers, then we did the goal setting for the family. So we got up to that point before the we closed for the COVID-19 um, situation. So we know that we had to stop the service running in some way, but I'll tell you what we have done in a little bit. So then we were planning to do a UNO's tour with student life. This usually happens in the Scott campus. Then the UNO tour academics and how to pay for college and dream boards. So this is what we usually tend to do. This semester has been a little bit different. So what we have had to do in the last sessions, because we're not able to continue meeting with the families in person. So this semester, my students have been creating some videos. And the first video was on the tour that they didn't, so they kind of consolidated what they were going to do with Scott campus and Dash campus, and making sure that they had the family still had some activities. So many of these videos are interactive activities for the families to follow what they will have learned in person. The second video is on how to pay for college, and the last one is on dream boards. So if you want to learn a little bit more about what the students are doing, last week we were featured the Math Daily, and they this is the headline, so you can search on the Math Daily. And this is one of my students, Olivia, who created one of the first videos, and it's a virtual tour, and she created a Padlet with different activities. This is another one that was was a visual that was created. So what they have been trying to do is kind of modeling what they would have done in person, but trying to do it online, and they have been submitting. And thanks to the Service Learning Academy and the wonderful GA, they have developed the playlist. So there's a YouTube playlist that is accessible for the families to watch the videos, and we have already started to receive some feedback about that and how informative they have been for the families. So we're hoping that the families will continue to watch the videos, even though we haven't been able to meet in person. But they continue developing that, and the students have been sending them little messages with their videos. So it's exciting to see that. They typically, if we will have not have to have this situation right now that we're going through, but it's better to stay safe. So let's stay safe. We have started, well, we did this. So some of these pictures are from the semester. So this little girl, she loved this Jenga game, and we did icebreakers and interest that first week, just to get to meet the families, just to know where to go from here. That's the first step that we tend to do with the families, just to get to know them. The second meeting is usually a goal setting meeting, in which, what do you want from here on? Short term goals. And this picture was taken by Ann O'Hara from the Learning Community Center of South Omaha. And I was so appreciative when I saw this on social media, because it was a message to us and to our program. And this was one of the activities that the kids did that day. And it's about that the COVID-19 doesn't change our dreams for college and career. So I'm so glad. I'm so glad that to see this message, I was able to share this with my students and put a smile on their faces because of this message. So thank you to the learning community of Omaha and everything you do. So our first tour that was had to be canceled because of the situation was going to be on student life. But this is what typically happens: is the kids get there, they eat with their families, and of course they love the ice cream station with the sprinkles and everything. So this is what it tends to happen: they eat together, but they visit the dorms, and my students create some interactive activities with them around Scout campus. In their second visit, they go to Dutch. So this particular little girl that is on top there, you cannot see her face because we're not allowed to show this student's face. But I wanted to show you because you can still see a little bit of that smile that she had on throughout that day. She was just so excited. She wants to be an astronaut. So we were able to get permission and somebody from the planetarium to give us a tour. It was a private tour. I joined that group and it was so much fun. And I was able to see her face and how happy she was. She dreams of becoming an astronaut, and I'm pretty sure she will because she just has her mindset and her family supports there. And the students create activities. This is a very different tour than what the our math ambassadors will do because it's developed by the UNO students. At this point, they already know more about the families. They gather as much information as possible, so they design the tour based on the families. So it's very personalized. There's a lot of interaction happening. You see the students and the kids with their papers is just because they're following a particular scavenger hunt or they're doing a particular activity with along with the tour. So then we were planning to this semester go back and talk about financial aid. How do you actually pay for college and develop these dream boards? These dream boards have been a big component this past years and they have created a really cool and it contributes to the final event that we have because the families present this um, dream boards under final activity. And of course, as with any service learning, we need to celebrate. And I took a picture of this past semester's cake because it was bilingual. So we had celebration, college prep celebration. So thank you to Service Learning Academy because they even put the message in Spanish. So it was exciting to see this. So we celebrate and we reflect, and they, my students talk about their experience, but it's where I'm really proud and really happy whenever it happens is when parents and kids also share their experiences. Many times during this reflection times, we hear parents say, I want to go to college too. I want to follow the steps. I got some really good information. So I'm gonna be able to see my kids' dreams, but I also want to continue my own dreams too. So it comes to this perspective too of making sure that they further their education. But what also makes me happy is, and this picture that is in the corner, this little girl that is pointing to the poster. She did her presentation with her family in both Spanish and English. So that bilingualism perspective as a ESL bilingual educator, this is something that makes me always happy and proud when little kids take ownership of their bilingualism. And she's a student in Gomez Heritage, and she gave a shout out to her teacher of why she did this. So this is why it's so important to have our bilingual programs. A couple quotes here. I just really like this particular quote. I'm not gonna read it all, but I just want to share how this particular student thought it was a fun friendship, learning about each other's lives. So it was a learning from both for them and for the families, with the whole family. But what I really, really like when I saw this particular quote was these parents are brave, persistent, and deeply invested. So it was powerful words in which you changed that language around parents are not engaged, but they are. It's just breaking those barriers for them to be able to participate. A particular Latina teacher candidate, she was an ELL student. She was an English language learner, so she took this as a very big, and one of the things that it was for us that I was really proud. This particular student said that her family didn't had this opportunity, so she wanted to make sure that others do. So that take that little piece into her own classroom with the interaction of her own with families that she will be working with. The parents that worked with this Latina teacher candidate also mentioned how she made them feel like a part of her family. So she explained everything, get to know her as much as possible uh, about the college and anything else that they ask. What we have seen this past years is that the benefits are enormous for the kids, especially this authentic relationship with the future teachers. You see them playing together, you see them interacting, and that happiness is something that it could make anybody else happy. But it's about learning about higher education, but start thinking and then how we can continue this. I know for many of the kids it's still very far away, but it's really great to just start thinking about it now. What are the implications of this is that we need to make sure that our teacher candidates start learning and about empowering um, families and making sure that they move forward and develop those meaningful relationships with families. So in teacher education, we need to also be aware of this and not wait until the last minute to do it. And to finish, and I hope if you have any questions, just let us know, because I really do hope that projects like this happen, because it's this community connection between our higher ed institutions and the community, and in especially these days in which we have our nonprofit agencies are struggling, make sure that we support them, because they also provide that relationship building with us and that learning experiences, and that service learning experience will not ever be possible without that relationship that we have created and that the students create with the parents. It's extremely important. A big thank you to the Service Learning Academy and the Learning Community Center of South Omaha staff that have supported this project for 6 years now. I'm really, really proud of this project, but it wouldn't have been possible without that support and those instructors that have also, it's not just my project, it's also Dan Nates, it's also Mariana Cruz, who have also taken this project to another level. So I appreciate all the work that everybody has put in. And if you have any questions, let me know. I hope that you stay safe and that we continue following the guidelines and making sure that after all this, we will be able to visit places like the learning community of South Omaha and learn more about what they do and continue developing those strong relationships with families in the community, especially with our Latinx families. Thank you very much.